Welcome back to Afternoon Live. October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and seeing all those pink ribbons can bring a range of emotions for the many survivors. Here to share her story, we welcome back breast cancer survivor and life coach Shari Leid. It's so great to see you.
Hi. I know it's cliche to say, I can't believe it's already October,
I know.
but I can't believe it's already October.
It's true. So this can be a big mix of emotions for survivors. You have your own personal perspective.
Yes.
What does this month bring up for you?
Yeah, so I am, I have to count the years, but this year would be 7 years cancer-free.
That's amazing.
Right? And so it changes for me actually every year, and it's getting easier for me. But at first, even now, it's a little difficult. I used to love October. I love Halloween, and I kind of dread it a little bit, and I feel myself getting prepared for it.
That makes sense. You got to kind of gear up the emotional armor. What are some things that you wish people understood about life after treatment, moving forward as a survivor, still carrying some of that emotional stuff with you?
I think, well-meaning friends, when you're done with your treatment, they'll celebrate you and they cheer. And for a lot of us, when we're done with treatment, that's actually the time that maybe we start feeling a lot of those emotions even stronger, because we've been reacting to everything. And we can get this guilt of feeling like we should be thankful, we should be happy.
Yeah.
So I think what I'd like people to know is just, maybe ask a friend, what does October mean to you? Or how do you feel?
Yeah.
When you
Simple
see
as
all
that.
the pink ribbons.
Yeah. What a great place to start. Well, it makes sense too, because I imagine as you're going through treatment, you're trying to stay strong and get through the physical part of it. And then when you get to let that guard down and feel more emotions, it makes sense that timing can be really difficult.
Yes, and a lot of times you don't know how you're going to feel. Like I said, every year has been a little different for me in October. And it's kind of as if you imagine going through something traumatic, and cancer is traumatic, and all of a sudden you don't have control of when you're reminded of that trauma, and that sort of is what October reminds me of.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then everyone's journey is different, and their treatment is different. So what about women who are diagnosed in later stages with more complications? I mean, I imagine that can bring all kinds of different feelings as well.
Yes, and then it becomes a lifelong process.
Right.
Even if you're cleared, as being cancer-free, you still have your regular checkups. In fact, I'm moving cities, and so I've had to, for my regular checkups, had to move care. And for the first time in a long time, I became afraid again, even though I'm not actively in treatment.
Right. Because you're looking up all of your old documentation to give to your new providers and make sure they have everything that they need to take the best care of you. But then I imagine revisiting that stuff is hard.
And you realize you've built so much trust in your care team that even changing to a new provider, like I am in a new city, and it's a great place, I don't have that same history and built up that trust that I have.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what about as a survivor, building up a team of people around you? Who should you look for? What types of people should you surround yourself with?
I think it's really important to have at least 1 or 2 friends that have gone through it before. I could have never understood cancer until I experienced it myself. You just can't. And their experience may be different than yours, but they may be better equipped to understand some of your ups and downs that you're going through.
Well, and unfortunately, so many women have gone through it that it's likely maybe you know someone, or you can reach out and find a mutual friend somewhere who can really help guide you through the process too.
Absolutely. It's so common. 1 in 8 women will have breast cancer sometime in their life and hear those words, and it's so common, and we don't talk about it as much, but finding somebody that you feel comfortable talking with is really important.
And what about the financial challenges afterwards? I mean, speaking of things we don't really talk about very much, you got to deal with all those burdens as well.
Yes, I mean, I was lucky. I had really good insurance, but even then, the co-pays, and I looked at these bills and thought, what would happen if I didn't have insurance? And I was married at the time. My husband had a great job. Now I'm single. And when I'm moving, I was even thinking, okay, if I got sick again, what insurance should I take to make sure that I could still handle it? And financial burden is huge when you're undergoing something so scary.
What about finding the joy, finding sparks of laughter in the darkness? You've got to find it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm lucky because that's kind of my go-to, is the humor of it. And yeah, if you can find joy, and quite honestly, you hear cancer survivors saying things like, it was the best thing that happened to me, and I don't want to make light of that because it is so difficult.
Yeah.
But I learned so much from my cancer journey, and from that time, there is not a day I waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And you learn so much about yourself and how strong you are and that you can overcome anything. Okay, what about in the month of October? What is one message that you hope people actually take away this time?
I think the one message I'd like to give people, because everyone's so well-meaning, to not share the story of their friend who has cancer, even if they've shared it. Let them share, or ask them if it's okay. Ask them for permission. And also check in with them in October and say, how is this month for you? Some people love it, other people struggle, but check in.
No, I think that's sometimes the simplest advice is the best, and that's such a great place to start, and I think we can all relate to that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
Always
thank
great
you.
to see you.
Yes, you too.
All right, we will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.